Hey everyone, it's Chris with HotShotsCatering.com, and this is Wedding Tips. And for our first episode here, I want to go over the foundation. Okay, think of it as a foundation to your house. If you're building a house, you need to have a good, solid foundation, because if you don't, what's going to happen? The whole house is going to crumble and fall. Well, not necessarily with your wedding, but you want to have a good foundation. And what I mean by that is you want to know exactly what you want for your wedding. Before you start thinking about all these great things, the dress, the great food, the bar, the open bar you're going to have, the cigars the guys are going to have afterwards, what have you. Before you get into all of that, you need to take a step back, and one of the first things you need to do is you need to figure out what are you going to budget for this wedding. Okay, that's one of the very first things. And then the second thing, I think you need to talk to each other as a couple, as a future couple that's going to be married together, and find out what do you both absolutely want at the wedding. Okay, and I'll tell you, I personally went through this. This was kind of a struggle, believe it or not, because you're going to want things that your fiance is not going to want. And then your fiance is going to want things that might not even be practical after you guys start looking at a budget. So, you got to keep all of that into the mix. I will also say too, you also want to think about getting a planner. And I will tell you, there's a lot of fantastic planners out there, no matter where you're at across America. There's some really great ones, and there's a lot of online websites and things like that that I'm not going to get into. But I can promise you this, the first thing is find someone, if you're looking for a planner, find someone that you're very compatible with, someone also that, believe it or not, that's going to stand up for you, okay? And that's very important. I think planners out there, there's a lot of great planners out there that it's going to plan your wedding. Maybe it's a day of coordinator. That's really kind of less than what I'm talking about, but you're going to want someone that's going to stand up for you in your wedding. And they're also going to be someone that's going to tell you kind of the way it is. And that might be, hey, you want to have this fantastic wedding under your price point, but quite honestly, it might not even be at your price point. It might be beyond your price point. And you need a planner that's going to tell you that in advance. You don't want to wait around and find out later on that you're going to spend more money and the planner hasn't told you much about that. So really look for a good planner. Find someone that you're comfortable with and compatible with in a planner, as well as try to find someone that's going to stand up for you. And maybe ask them that right off the bat. Ask them that question. Are you going to stand up for me when it comes down to, hey, I need to pick this venue? Are you going to fight for me when I want some of these things at this venue or what have you? Now, I'm not saying that to say that, planners are going to fight for you and get you things and nickel and dime people and do stuff like that. No, but you do need a planner that is going to be behind you every step of the way and help you make a perfect wedding. Other than that, like I said, budgeting, you need to figure out what your budget is going to be. Who's going to pay for the wedding? Is it going to be your family members paying for the wedding? Is it going to be your fiance paying for the wedding? Who's going to end up be paying for this wedding? And really, 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 really stick to a budget. Okay, and put everything in that. So when you're going through this foundation phase, you want to look at all the things that you want, and then you're going to have to outline that budget and stick to it. So whatever that budget is, get a good idea of what that is at the starting, and then start pulling in things to match and see how that puzzle all fits within that budget. That's one of the best recommendations I can say to you is really sit down, figure out that budget and kind of figure that out first. And then you can start pulling in as you start researching what things cost, which is going to be a surprise to you if you've never done this before. And then kind of fitting that all in to this little block or your foundation, if you will, of your wedding process. So anyways, that's kind of the main point of what I wanted to say to you guys and kind of get your mind thinking. Don't worry about your wedding. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. You guys are going to have a wonderful wedding, and it's going to be fantastic to start this next phase in your life with your spouse. So don't try to let any of this part of the wedding process, no matter what stage you're at, don't let any of that impact you and your marriage and how you guys are going to move forward. It's going to be great regardless. of whether you have this band or this photographer or that photographer. Right now, you want to get what fits within the budget. You want to get, maybe you need a good planner. Get a good planner to stand by your side. But other than that, it's going to go smoothly and fantastic. And really work with your fiance and find out what each of you want and stick to it. All right, well, that's going to be it for today's wedding tip. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you need to subscribe, or if there's a place to subscribe, definitely please do that. And we will see you on the next one.